Hold. Hold. He hōnore he kōre ki te atua, mau ngārongo ki te whenua, kāro pai ki ngā tāngata katoa, amin. E i hoa e te wairua tapu. Ka whakapau atua mātou ngā kau ki te whakamoimiti atu ki a koe. Ka kōrero tia e mātou au mahi whakamiharo. Ka koa mātou ka whakamanamana i mua iho tō aro e te riki. Ka ino i atu anō hoki ki a koe e te atu o te rungarawa. Ia mana ki tia mai tēnei whānau. I tēnei wā me tēnei kaupapa, tēnei wā āmoa ke tonu atu. Treina white e te atua kaharau. Whakatūhira mai ngā kua hoa te tiko o te pono. Te ora te māramatangu ki a mātou. O pononga i tēnei wā, ma mātou noho ki koe whakamoimiti. Whakakrore ki toi ngā tau.
Speak above the wind. Who has conquered the night and given birth to the day, and given birth to the day? How can I stand without your spirit? How can I go without your spirit? How can I stand without your spirit? How can I go without your spirit? E toka atu moana tu tonu, tu te ao, tu te po. E toka atu moana tu tonu, tu te ao, tu te po. tonu, tu te ao, tu te po. E toka tu moana, tu tonu, tu te ao, tu te po.
Kia ora te whānau, me ino i tātou hei whakatuwhera I te karakia whakamutunga mō tō tātou whaia, Valerie and Tuwhare Cooksley. E te atua kaharawa, e tuwhera ana ngā koe katoa ki a koe, e mōhio ti ana ngā hehe katoa, e kore hoki a ngaro I a koe te mehuna, whakahānge iho tauwaru tapu, hei whakamāi ngā whakaro o mātou ngā koe, kia tino aroha ai mātou ki a koe, kia tika ai te whakanui I tau ingoa tapu. Āmene. Te himene o te waiata rua te kaumatoru. Ko iwa tōku he para, he korea hau e hapa. Ko ia hei mea kia takatoa hau ki ngā wāhi tarutaru hau. E ārahi ana ia hau I te taho ngā wai ātarere. Ko ia hei whakahoki ake tōku wairua, e ārehi ana ia hau i ngā rā, i ngā rā o te tika, e whakaaro hoki ki tōna ingoa. Ai a ko haere ahau te awa o te ātārangi o te mate, ka hore he kino e wehi ahau, no te mea kei tōku taha koe, ko tau rākau, ko tau tokotoko, ko e nā hei oranga ngā kau mōku. E taka ane koe he te para ki tōku aroaro i te tiruhanga anō o kuhoriri, e whakawahi ane koe tōku mātinga ki te hinu, hūrena tōnu tāku kapu. E pono e aru e ahau te pai me te atawhai ngā rā katoa e ora e ahau, a ka noho ahau ki te whare o iwa, mō ake tōnu atu. Karoria ki a koe e te ariki. Ko ākona nei tātou e tō tātou ariki, ka ino e tātou. E tō mātou matu i te rangi, kia tapu tū ingoa, kia tae mātou rangatiratanga, kia mea te tau e pai ai ki runga ki te whenua, kia rite anō ki tōre rangi, o mai kia mātou aene he taro ma mātou mō tēnei rā, muroa mātou hara, me mātou huki e muri nei o te hunga harane ki a mātou, aua huki mātou kawea ki a whakawaia, engari whakaurangi a mātou te kino, no hoki te rangatiratanga, te kaha me te kuroria. Ake. Amene. Taki tū te whānau, please stand for our first himene, whakāria mai. Kāria mai. Amine. Taki noho e te whānau. Kei a koe te raku e pita.
Hutia te rito te harakeke, keihia te kōmako e kō. Whakatairangi tia rere ki uta, rere ki tai. Ki mai kia hau hea ha te mea nui ki tēnei ao. Mā kue ki atu. He tangata, he tangata, he tangata. Nō reira, e ngā iwi, tēnā koutou. Ngā mātā waka kei wainga nui e a tātou, tēnā koutou. Tēnei a hau ka mihi, kia koutou ngā whānau, ngā hoa, ngā whanaunga, i haere mai i te rānei. Ki te whakamāma i tēnei āhuatanga, kua tau ki runga i tēnei whānau. Ka mihi hoki a hau ki tēnei whare karakia, nōna tētahi mahanatanga e tika ana mō ngā wāpene. Ka hakaro ki ngā ringa raupā i whakatūria tēnei whare, hei whare manaki, hei whare e tuku atu nei i te reo aroha, hei whare karakia, mō tātou te hunga e aruana i te whakapono. Nō reira ka mihi ahau ki a koe Reverend Wilson, tēnā koe arahi nei I ngā karakia I te ata nei. Tēnei tētahi āhuatanga mamai, tēnei tētahi āhuatanga pauri. Engari aha koa tēnā pauri he aha, ko mutu ngā mamaitanga o tēnei au mate mate, ki runga I tēnei kuia, e takoto nei ki wainga nui ia tātou. Nō reira e moe vau, e moe I tō moe roa. E moe, haere koe ki o mātua, haere koe ki tō māma, haere koe ki tō pāpā. Haere koe ki o tūpuna I kaha koe ki te kōrero. Ia koe e kōrero ana mo tō whakaheke I te taha o tō māma me te taha o tō pāpā. Ka hakaro hoki a hau ki o uri, ngā waihotanga iho, ko ia ena, ko ngā uri ka mauria o kaupapa, a ngā rā e haere ake nei. Nō reira, ka nui e nei kōrero mo tēnei wā, engari tēnei te reo mihi kia koutou I haere mai ki tēnei kaupapa I te rānei. Arā, te karakia hakamutunga, mo Valerie, Sophia, Cooksley, Tuwhare. Tēnā te roanga o tana ingoa. Ka mare nā ia kia Rob, nā ka puta mai ko Hana rāua ko Arapeta. Nā ko Rob, tētahi o ngā tamaiti o te kaumātua rongo nui o Ngāpuhi ara a hone Tuwhare. Nā reira ka mihi hoki a hau ki ngā kuia o Ngāpuhi I haere mai I te rānei ki te tautoko I ngā āhuatanga e pāna ki ngā rā pēnei I tēnei. Ka nui e nei kōrero, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Māku e mihi atu kia koutou te iwi Māori. Nō reira, tēnei te mihi, kia koutou, kia orara, kia kaha tātou, ka tangi, te manu, ti ori ori. Ka tangi, te ngakau tangata. Nō reira, tēnei te mihi, kia koutou, kia orara. Nō reira e ngā mate, haere atu rā. Hoki mai kia tātou, ngā waihotanga iho o rātou mā, arā te hunga o rā, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Tēnā koe te kuaka e pita I tō mihi hei whakatau I tō whānau whānui. E tautako ana ki te mihi kua mihia. E whae vēl, kua tau mai tō whānau, o hoa, o hāpuri, ki te tuku mihi ki a koe. Nō reira, takoto mai rā I roto I ngā kupu aroha tō whānau whānui. Nō reira, e te tī e te tā, tēnā koutou. Nau mai hara mai ki tō tātou wharikarakia, te ana tapu e tuake nei, tātai hono e takoto ki waho. Nau mai hara mai ki roto I te piopatanga o te tai tokarau, I raro I te korowai o tō tātou piopa, te kitohi pi kāhu. Nau mai hara mai ki tēnei kaupapa whakahirahira. Arā, ko te karakia whakamutunga o tō tātou whaia vēl. He whakanui I tāna haerenga I te ao tūroa. Nō reira, kanohi ki te kanohi, rorohiko ki te rorohiko, tēnā rā tātou katoa. I would like to extend our greetings of Peter on behalf of the whānau. Welcome everybody, everyone that is in person and also online. Welcome to your church, Holy Sepulchre, and your marae, Tātai Hono, under the leadership of Pihopa Kito. This church in marae was established in 1969 under Sir Kingi Ihaka. When Māori from the four winds of Aotearoa started moving into Tāmaki, Sir Kingi Ihaka saw the need for a place for Māori to gather for worship within the tikanga, and the marae for Māori to gather in within the tikanga as well. And this was radical back then, as an urban marae was a new idea back then. It's hard to believe, but it was. So this is the third urban marae to be established in Tāmaki. So we are here because of Sir Kingi Ihaka's legacy and his vision. And also, apparently, I've been told he's also from the best iwi, Te Aupōuri. Is that right, Peter? So over time, this has been a second home for urban Māori to gather, but also for Pākehā and Tauiwi like myself to gather under tikanga Māori, to worship God and a place to celebrate life, and also as a place to grieve. So welcome to your second home. This is a place for you to gather to celebrate the life of our whaia Val. And we at Te Ana Tapu, we're privileged that you guys have chosen to gather here. So nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Just a few housekeeping things. So toilets over at the whare nui over there, you'll see them. Someone will direct you if you can't see them. If a fire alarm goes on, which it shouldn't, everyone will head up to the car park. I know it's raining, but also if that does happen, please the pallbearers come with me and we'll take Whaia Val out as well. So don't worry, it's never happened in the history of this church. So, and I've been praying too. And also, for those who are going to come up and speak, please speak into the mic, and that is because we have an online community who are watching for all corners of the world to celebrate our Whaia Val's life. And also, finally, the whānau would like to extend the invitation to stay for a kai after the service over at Tātai Hono. So please, after the service, make your way over there. At the very end, we'll go out this way with Whaia Val, and then you guys can circle back to the whare kai. Without further ado, I would like to invite Matua Rob Tuwhare for our whakamaharatanga.
Kia ora tātou. Welcome to everyone today, and to all Val's friends and whānau. Welcome, and gee, I don't really know what to say, but when I look over at my tamariki, ana ngarapeta, and our whānau, just helps me to be strong and be with everyone and share in the love that Val kind of gave us all, and help her on her journey to the other life. And yeah, I'm not very well prepared, but I've just been feeling so much aroha and memories of Val and I meeting. It was a Friday night, and I was on the boat coming from Waiheke to Auckland to Tamaki, and Val approached me on the boat and asked me if I was someone, I can't remember the name, but and she had such sparkly, beautiful eyes, and I kind of followed her off the boat in Tamaki, and we got talking, and the rest is history. And now I have a beautiful mokopuna who was born a few days before when those stars come up, those Māori stars. And he came early, a couple of days before those stars rose, and he's brought beautiful joy and our whānau together, and been able to watch Val hold her moko in her arms. And yeah, it's just beautiful. And welcome Kioni and Peter to our whānau, and just to be here with all my kids' friends and whānau was absolutely amazing. And thank you for all coming today and sharing, and I hope you come and have a kai with us all. And yeah, kia ora.
Taki noho e te whare. Thank you very much for those beautiful life-defining moments, Matua Rob. And now we'll have Hana and Arapeta to come and share in the eulogy.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming. Just need to get our bullet points.
He pō, he ao, tākiri mai te ata, kōhiri mai te manu. Ka ao, ka awatea, tihei, mauri ora. Tēnā kau te hui mai nei, I raro I te tuanui o tēnei whare, nei te mihi. E mihi ana ki a koutou, e huhu mai nei I raro I te kapua pauri I tēnei rā. Tēnā koutou. Just want to welcome everybody. You guys have filled the whare today, which is beautiful to see. I'm Hana, and this is Arapeta, where Val's tamariki. And I've heard a lot of stories over the last few days around mum. A lot of people felt like our mum was a mum to them. She was a huge, and the amount of caring that she did for other people, and the way that she would hoon around Aotearoa, caring for people, giving rongoa. I'm sure many of people have experienced that in this room, and she was part of so many different communities. So we want to mihi to all the different kaupapa that Val was involved in, and I know there's people here from all sorts of different kaupapa and communities. You'll excuse us for being disorganised today. Had a few things going on.
I was just thinking about how I'd like to thanking her for inspiring me how to cook. I don't know if you guys have seen her in the kitchen, but she'd usually have a pot of boiling water on that would just boil till there's nothing. So I learned how to cook pretty quick. Thanks, Mum, for that. She kept asking me where I learnt. It's because of you.
I wanted to kōrero about her upbringing. So she was born in Otorahanga to Jim and Mari Cooksley. She was an only child until they welcomed her whāngai brother, Cedric. Thank you for coming along today. She grew up, they were a farming whānau, dairy farming in the Waikato in Otorahanga. So the way that she grew up spending time with whānau was working on the farm, working with animals, being in nature. She spent the first year of her life with her cousins and auntie in Palmerston North while our nana, her mum, was unwell. So she was very close with her cousins, Auntie Frances, Auntie Pamela. Auntie Frances, we're so glad you could make it today. You're whānau who have come the furthest from Palmerston North. So we're really glad you were able to make it today. And yeah, one of the things she always told me on the farm, before going to school in the morning, on cold mornings, she would go and spend time with the cows, and she would put her hands in the cow's mouth to warm them up. That's what she would do before school, before getting on the bus. Anything else you want to share about her upbringing?
I remember her always talking about blowing up tree stumps with their dad with dynamite.
They worked, did a lot of work on that farm.
Yeah.
She also had a lot of passion, so she was involved in shiatsu community, Shada Centre, her spiritual place. There's a grandmother's group here. She was a rock and roll and sarong dancer, which was a big part of her life in Tauranga. What else? Naturopathy, all sorts of different kaupapa.
Shiatsu.
Yeah. So, and everybody talks about how much she was deeply into healing.
Butcher.
Annie Butcher, yeah. At 21 years old, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and cured herself of cancer, and that's what led her into naturopathy, shiatsu, and healing. So that's been a big lived experience of hers. And my sister said it well yesterday. If you had an ache or a swelling or a cough or something, she was right there, getting her potions and lotions out. And she had everything in the back of her car, ready for anything.
I think on that, it reminds me of there's always a broken wooden arrow on her bedside table. No? And I think I'd always asked what it was, and she said there was from a mind over matter course, and at the end of the course they had to believe they could snap the arrow on the throat, and this arrow was always snapped. I don't know if it was true, but I guess it's
She's
the
heart.
power,
I was
the
like,
power of the mind, you know. I believed it. I think she believed it too, how it worked. Must have.
But she was devoted to the people around her. Always she gave so much of herself to everyone around her. And we shared her a lot with other people. Yeah. As a mother, she was an incredibly dynamic person. She was full of life, always on the move. We were always in the car, getting ready to go somewhere. Sometimes it was fun, sometimes it wasn't. But she showed us what it meant to pursue a life that you're passionate about, and to be hardworking and to be always helping others. And she was just so selfless, right up until the end. She was an amazing support for her mother, for our Nana, in the last few years of her life. And she was just incredibly patient and caring. And although people would have often maybe seen her as quiet or serene, she was bloody determined in everything that she did. And she would just go for whatever she wanted, right up until the end.
Cars packed.
Yeah. She was an amazing Tetris player, car Tetris. And one of the last and one of the last things she did was pack up her car, Tetris styles, fit everything and ready to go to Tauranga. But we're blessed that she was at home when she passed with us, and got to spend her last days with us and her new moko, who's 9 weeks old. So, although she didn't get as much time with her moko as we had hoped, amazing that she got to spend that small amount of time. Yeah.
I'll just say, yeah. I think she's she's touched all of us here, you know, and she's always still be a part of us, and yeah, thank you all.
Amongst all of her other hippie things, she also worked for the IRD, and she was amazing with numbers. And even though she lost some of her language ability at the end, she could still perfectly do numbers, so we're going to give this little Sudoku book to her in the end.
She had just given me 2 of these books back completed. And she said, give me another one, please.
But yeah, amazing to have everyone here today, and yeah, tēnā koutou. Leave that up there.
Tēnā kōrua e hana e Arapeta for bringing the stories to life. Man, I actually can't wait to meet Whaia Val in the next life, man. She sounds so awesome. So we're going to have Matua Shirola and Jamila up, and they're going to share an invocation from their Hahi Sifu, part of the Chara community. Ai, come up.
Kia ora, everyone. We're representing the Sufi community and the Shada Centre that Val Shafir was deeply committed to and poured her life energy into over many years. So we're deeply grateful and honoured to have been with her in our life, and so grateful for all that she's contributed. We have an invocation that we say together. We've all said it together so many times, and I'd like to also just acknowledge all those who are not here, like Ayla, who's in America with Moitu, and others who are on live stream with us in Aotearoa and abroad. So those of you who say this invocation together, we'll say it in Te Reo Māori and then in English, and then Cyrilla will speak. Join us, please, if you can. E mihi ana, ki te kotahi tangapure, ko ia hoki, te tino taumata, o te aroha, o te whakarotai, me te ataua. Kaore he tangata, ko atu iaia, e whakakotahitia, ki ngā wairua tūrama katoa. Ko rātou nei, te whakatīnanatanga, o rātou, kua whetūrangitia, o te nāko arataki. Toward the one. The perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the messenger, the spirit of guidance.
Kia ora, koutou katoa. Our dear Val Shafir became over the years of her involvement with the Sufi community a very highly esteemed and an important person in our lives and in the life of our community. I actually want to just go back and start on a personal note as well, because I met Val in London in 1980. We bumped into each other, and as Kiwis do, we connected and became friends quickly. And then our lives kind of parted, and we bumped into each other again at Sweetwater's, if you might remember Sweetwater's. And she tapped me on the shoulder and said, here she is, you know, and that was wonderful. And I was able to introduce her to Halima McEwen, who was our Sufi elder in our Sufi community. And
And really that was the beginning of Val Shafir becoming kind of interwoven in our lives. And she became a conductor of our healing service. She became a minister in our universal worship. She became a teacher and a guide in our community. And as Jamila mentioned, she was for a long time a trustee and kaitiaki of the Shada Sufi Centre in Tuwhare. If I'm right, that was about 18 years, I think, she was a trustee. And there's a whakatoki, isn't there, that talks about the kumara. The kumara doesn't boast of its sweetness. And to me, that Val Shafir kind of embodied that whakatoki. If something needed doing, she got on and did it. And we'd often be in a retreat or in a workshop, and she'd be there one moment, and then she'd be off doing something that needed doing. And she had that sweetness too. It was a really special part of her personality, and that humility that comes with that whakatoki. That gave her a strength. She was a very capable and astute person. She achieved a lot in her life. I now want to say a prayer from our Sufi tradition for Val Shafir. It's a prayer of healing and blessing for her as she goes forth on her journey. Please join me in your heart if you wish. O Thou, the cause and effect of the whole universe, the source from whence we have come and the goal towards which all are bound. Receive this soul who is coming to Thee into Thy parental arms. May Thy forgiving glance heal her heart. Lift her from the denseness of the earth. Surround her with the light of Thine own Spirit. Raise her up to heaven, which is her true dwelling place. We pray Thee, grant her the blessing of Thy most exalted presence. May her life upon earth become as a dream to her waking soul, and let her thirsting eyes behold the glorious vision of Thy sunshine. Amen. And now the blessing. Heal her spirit, Lord, from all the wounds that her heart has suffered through this life of limitation upon the earth. Purify her heart with Thy divine light, and send upon her spirit Thy mercy, Thy compassion, and Thy peace. Amen.
Thank you very much for sharing your whakapono with us, the invocation, the karaki and the blessing and that beautiful waiata. Thank you very much. But more importantly, thank you for sharing what Whaia Val was like in a leader in your community and the gifts that she brought and the flourishing she created. So thank you very much. E te whānau, we're going to open up the floor now for people who would like to share a tribute about Whaia Val. And in doing so, I just want to remind you guys of a little whakatauki. He atu te kupu, nui te kōrero. Nō reira e te whānau, please be mindful, share deep but not wide. Yes. And this is just mindful for everything that goes on to the day. So please, now the floor is open. If you would like to come up, I'll just be over here and just let me know. And we have our first person up.
Hello. First of all, I'm going to read a poem from Elaine Dyer, who was a student of hers from Shiatsu College. Sorry. I imagine you will have plenty to say yourself. Oh, sorry, that's to me. Beloved Val, over so many years, how many times did you roll the mattresses out and get our weary bodies to stretch out as you applied the most precise pressure, healing, touch and coaching, orienting us back to our creative balance? How often did you quietly inquire about our challenges and stresses and supported us to release the pressure accumulating as we worked to bring well-being to the world? How many times did you teach, quietly offering wise guidance, honed by informed experience and sparkled with spiritual insight? Val, you moved among us so gently that the thought that you are now treading light paths through the other world is almost unthinkable. Yet your touch, quiet attending, and sparkling eyes will be close by us all, a reminder of peace, beauty, and balance. Thank you all for all you gave, all you left behind, and the humbly magnificent seeds you've planted. Dance lightly along those light paths, beloved sister. I apologise that I haven't been able to translate or speak to you in Māori. This will be one of the hardest times so far in my life, to lose my dearest, long-standing friend for over 39 years. This wasn't meant to happen so early, and this has been a huge shock. I have lost such an amazing friend, giving powerful healing woman whom I met 39 years ago, as I've said. I was introduced to Val by Keith Hembray at Te Wairua Spiritual Gathering in Taumaranui in 1984. One of the most vivid and favourite memories of the gathering was meeting you, Val. You were an integral part of running and the gathering, and you were in your element. You were busy in your vivacious but quiet way. You were making things happen, and keeping it running smoothly. We clicked and our friendship blossomed from there. I did meet the father of my son Tyler at the same gathering. Just saying. Val and I didn't live in the same city, so we didn't get to see each other physically as much, except when we were in each other's towns. But for the happiest and most joyful day of my life, she was there. She drove down from Auckland to Wellington to be at my son's birth. Twice in one day, Auckland to Wellington. In Val's fashion, she arrived on Sunday. The birth of Tyler seemed imminent. We walked around botanical gardens and were admiring all the beautiful flowers in the glasshouse. She had to drive back to Auckland that afternoon, and Tyler was born at 7:30 the next morning. She was back down by 8 a.m. That is the kind of friend she was. She spent a few days with us, but soon her busy schedule was calling her back to Auckland. That was the most special day of my life, and Val, you were part of that. Thank you so much. We always made time for each other. We would fit it in between your clients. You would fit me in between your workshops. You would go and get things printed as you prepared for your teachings, and I would just be there with you. We were looking forward to spending so much more time together. We were into international peace dancing, but we didn't do much of that together either. You popped up everywhere to do with spiritual and healing. You're a powerful soul, and I know you will still be powerful from the place you are now. You will help this world back from far. You will do that. Another beautiful favourite memory of Val was when Tyler and I visited you at Mount Eden, and he was just a little tyke. Tyler and I woke up in the morning, but Val was nowhere to be seen. We went about our morning routine, and we went out to sit in the back garden. Shortly after, Val came breezing back with her flowing skirt, smiling ear to ear. She'd been with Rob, and she was so happy. She was falling in love. That was the very beginning of her relationship. She soon after had Hannah was born, and then Arapeta. That was such a happy time for Val to have her two gorgeous young children. Among bringing up her two children, she would have clients visiting to do shiatsu healing, and eventually she set up the shiatsu teaching college. Val, your healing attributes, your manner, your mana, just the way you lived in the world took people's breath away. You were an astonishing, powerful, quiet healer, and clients and students just healed and blossomed. Mount Eden was the first place that I would stay in, that beautiful old home that you purchased many, many years ago. We had our friendship, and it was solid, and we were both living our own lives alongside bringing up our families. So time would go by, and we wouldn't always be in contact, but we knew that if we were in each other's cities, we would definitely be catching up. Before social media and cell phones. Imagine that world now. We had a huge commitment to living healthy and eating really, really good food, always being conscious of what we were putting in our bodies. I've always been told I was the most amazing, weird person of what I ate, and Val was beyond me. She ate everything organic. I didn't. She didn't put sugar in her mouth. I do, and did. Another favourite part of my connection with Val was that she introduced me to Halima and Sufism. And often when I came up to Auckland, you'd be living at Shada, either in the big house, the little house, the caravan, or the main house. I never knew. That was a huge part of your commitment to Halima, and she took that so seriously. Then other times I'd visit you in the early days, and we would be at Tangihanga on the farm, and then living in the clinic. And then I would stay, and of course I would living in Tauranga in the main house. And then when that was rented, we'd live in the clinic, stay in the clinic. And then, of course, Mount Eden. She was quite a clever businesswoman from my perspective, having properties, a shiatsu college, and being a shiatsu practitioner and managing Shada. She was has amazing accomplishments in her life, but the success of her being a mum and her two beautiful children surpassed. So one of my favourite memories of our friendship is the love of second-hand shops. And we used to immerse ourselves. It was our happy place. We loved gathering bargains and adored finding amazing clothes at very cheap prices. And picnics. We loved going on picnics, especially with our children, playing in the background, and we were chattering. Another memory, Val loved, well, I put ballroom dancing, but it was actually rock and roll. I would go with her, and she would be up and down being asked to dance, and I enjoyed watching her flowing rhythmic movements. You were a solid friend, Val. We were rekindled a strong physical connection when I moved to Auckland over 10 years ago. You are still healing and running and teaching college. And we would fit in seeing each other in between her busy schedule and my busy schedule. As we both slowed down with our commitments, we would spend more time together. She was so excited about Hannah having her baby and becoming a grandmother and moving from Shada to Auckland. The transition out of Shada was a biggie. It has been such a huge part of her life, and as people have, other people will share that part. For me, she was just a damn good friend. Then in the last little while that she's been back in Mount Eden, we had connected so much and we were building our friendship. Monday morning, before she was heading to Tauranga the next day, I picked Val up and we went to the Ayurvedic Indian store, the natural bulk barn, and the organic food co-op, buying all her, nearly finished, supplies to head down to Tauranga, where she was committed to getting well and again being back to give support to Hana and Nuku as soon as she was able. The last conversation we had, we talked about friendship, we talked about making plans, going away in my camper van on little trips and maybe going overseas. She said to me, Arapeta had said, Mum, you'll be travelling overseas soon. And I said, yes, Val, we will do some trips. We had plans. We have time now. Since you've passed, Val, while you've been in transition, you have been dancing and smiling in the sky among the stars, watching down. I got through the week because I felt your presence. If I've learned anything from losing you, Val, it is that friends are important throughout life, and friends in older age are gold. You are a gold friend, and losing you at this stage hurts me to the core. Love you, dear Val. Go well. You have left a huge heart in mine and many hearts. And spread your angel wings over the planet. We need you to help heal our broken humanity and planet.
Hello, my name is Frances. Don't take the size of the book is what I've got to say. It's only a few pages, don't worry. Valerie was a month old when she moved in to live with my family for a period of 12 months. My mum and dad had me. I was 11 months old. Valerie was a month old. And hey presto, they had virtually a set of twins. From no babies, and less than 12 months later, there were 2 of us there. Everywhere they went, in the old cars, there were deep pockets down the sides of the cars. There would be a row of bottles for me in one door and a row of bottles for Valerie in the other door. I've also been told that she was an absolute fiend for having custard for dinner as a baby. It had to be custard at tea time. It didn't get made in the microwave because there were no microwaves way back then. No such thing as store-bought custard in cardboard boxes either that tastes amazing. But sometimes that custard was made at 10 o'clock at night on a pot on the stove because she was still performing looking for her dinner. She wouldn't settle for anything else other than custard. Some school holidays we would be up at the farm with her mum and dad and Valerie on the farm, and other times in the summertime we'd head off down to Queen Charlotte Sounds, and we had a series of holidays down there every second year, a little batch 4 miles from Picton, but the only way to get there was by boat. It was swimming, boating, learning to row a dinghy, and of course fishing, which was lots of fun, except one day we were all happily playing in the water and she got swam in through a school of clear jellyfish. I was talking about this with her the other day, or not that long ago actually, and she said it was the most painful thing she's ever experienced. I have a lot to thank Valerie for her knowledge, for her professionalism, for her shiatsu, for her naturopathy. Her shiatsu massages were amazing. It took you about 3 days to get over them, but they worked. We have a lot to thank her for in our family too, for her naturopathic knowledge. She managed to heal my mother from an extended stay in Rarotonga after she got hit by a motorcycle the day she was supposed to be coming home, and she had a week in hospital in Raro. And Valerie picked her up and fed her full of arnica. I picked her up off the plane at 8 o'clock at night in Palmerston North, and it looks as if my dad had punched her in the eyes and he'd tried to strangle her. No such truth in that matter. But the next morning, after Valerie's arnica treatment, the bruising was virtually non-existent. There was no swelling left in her face. She had pieces of her glasses in her cheek and everything. So Valerie was doing absolutely wonderful work for a very long time. I've never heard her really going off at her children. I do remember one day, though, I think you were flying from Auckland to Dunedin and you missed the plane. And I got an agitated Valerie on the phone call. She actually swore at me and said, "We've missed the plane, we've now got to sit it out and wait for the next one." But that was the worst that she got, I think, just about. Hello. Valerie's always been there for us. We've tried to be there for her. And I have got nothing other than praise and grateful thanks to her for her professionalism. I have 5 beautiful grandchildren, partially because of her assistance in some difficulties along the way. We're going to miss her something terribly. We would pick up the phone and ring one another, much as the other lady was saying. The only thing is, we never had a plan as to when we were going to do it. We would just do it when the Spirit moved us. And we'd pick up the conversation from where we left off the last time. It didn't matter, there was no gaps to fill in or anything. It just carried on like a natural progression and thing. Some of the last few discussions we've talked politics, we've talked religion, we've sorted the world out between us. No doubt everybody's listening to us, not. And as was said, Valerie worked for the tax department. She was wise. I think she started in Hamilton and moved to Tiarawa, and then she went off overseas for her year's overseas experience. She came back 5 years later as a naturopath. But I'm going to miss her absolutely something terribly. I've known her all my life. She's always been there for me. I've tried to be there for her. And The world is definitely a better place for her, with her in it. And I would just like to, I'm not going to read it, but I did think about how Valerie has lived, and I would recommend that everybody has a little look on Google and has a look at Desiderata by Max Ehrman. He wrote it in 1927, and it explains how Valerie lived. Every sentence is a trait that Valerie pursued and led her life by. A very determined lady, a very kind, a very caring person with absolute amazing spiritual and soul within herself. Absolutely amazing woman, and I'm sorry that she is no longer with us. We miss her terribly. Thank you.
Kia ora everyone, I'm Waveney Rita. Val was my shiatsu teacher who became a valued and precious friend. Shiatsu, which is Japanese for finger pressure massage therapy, was a major part of Val's life, and she taught many students in the course of her teaching career. She set up and ran the Shiatsu College Aotearoa alongside her private practice. Val pioneered shiatsu in Aotearoa, being the first to bring the healing art to this country and the first to set up a college here. We remember Val's classes as always being fun in a warm, loving and friendly atmosphere, with little Hana wandering amongst us, and when Arapeta came along, her Pepe lying with us on the shiatsu mats while we practiced. We were truly a big, happy family. Val was also instrumental in forming the Shiatsu Practitioners Association, Aotearoa, encouraging us, her graduating students, to get involved in the mahi required to set it up. She herself served as president for many years and continued to support the association until she was no longer able. Her skills, energy and dedication to her life's work was nothing short of phenomenal. She was a healer, an innovator, and a wonderful, deeply spiritual human being. Sorry. Val, those were some of the happiest and most fulfilling years of my life. And I know that that goes for many others, some of them here today. We'll miss you, dear friend. Go in peace. Tēnā koe.
Just checking the microphone. Good. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. For me, that kind of sums up Val. You know, the beauty of who she was. I heard the other day somebody talking about 3 types of souls on the planet, one being those who are Earth, one being those from the other planetary realms, and one being the angels. And for me, Val was the angel, or is the angel. I met her 1982, 42 years ago, at Naturopathic College, and we instantly became best buddies, and I've considered her my best friend for the rest of those 42 years. The first time I went to Otorohanga to visit her when she was caring for her mum, we drove past the school and she said, oh, that's where I went to school. But actually, every chance I got, I was across the road at the marae. So she used to sneak away from school, head over to the marae, and that was where her heart was. We shared our Buddhist attitudes together. I've never known anybody to drive so many miles as Val did. Never quite the direct route that I thought she should be taking, but always in that car and going. What else? Oh, Te Wairua's Halima. She introduced me also to Halima and Sufism. We were at a gathering at Tuwhare not long before the first Te Wairua, and Halima was talking about this festival that she was going to, or that she was organising. And I was pregnant at the time, and I said, oh, that's when my baby's due. I don't think I'll be able to make it. And Halima looked at me and said, come, we'll organise the right people to be there on the airways, I think she said. And so I did go to that gathering, and Val was there holding my hand right through the delivery of that baby at that festival. Probably not too much else that other people haven't said. I read a little quote from Jane Goodall the other day, and I'd like to read that, very short. My next great adventure, said Jane, is going to be dying. There's either something or there's nothing. If there's nothing, well, that's it. If there's something, I can't think of a greater adventure than finding out what that is. And so, Val, I wish you well on your great adventure, and I look forward to joining you and carrying on our adventures together. Thank you. Five-year-old me, standing at the feet of my grandfather, telling Val to stop. Stop what you're doing, Val. Stop, stop, get off him. But I didn't know that what she was doing was healing him. 5-year-old me thought that she was doing something else. My grandfather brought this lady into our lives, into our family, into our village, into our whārua. A lot have spoken about Val and her travels around the world. And I want to talk about her travels to Tuwhare, Te Urewera, where Val found herself. And we were lucky enough that she attached herself to our whānau. E ua i tō ua e Val. Ne, e ua i tō ua. I don't know who found who, if my grandfather found Val or if Val found him. You have spoken about her natural
naturopathic world. So too was my grandfather, who practiced rongoa Māori. And from that, I don't know who found who. But from that, they found each other, and Val found us, and we found her as well. And it's been like that ever since. Divine timing. Val wasn't always around us, but when she was, there was a purpose to why she was with us at that said time. We speak highly of her, and we speak only great and kind words about Val, about the woman that she was. She would so often come home to visit us and be with my nan and my koro, that our old people of home used to ask, "Koe tērā wahine Pākehā? Now, who's this little old white lady here?" Because you don't find many of those in Waimana. They thought she was my grandfather's girlfriend, mistress. But she was more than that to us. Tō whānau o te Waimana Val, our family, I have a cousin that's named after Val. For so many reasons. But she gave a lot of herself to us. She's given a lot of herself to everyone. Nā runga i tērā e mihi ana kia koutou i te whānau. Thank you for sharing your mum with us. Thank you for letting her come to us. Yep, she used to zip around Aotearoa in her little car, just her and her car. It's packed to the brim. She needs everything that's in that car, is all she'll ever need. And she used to zip around Te Ruera, she used to zip around Waimana with my nan and koro. Pick them up and off they went. Wouldn't hear from them for a week. Found out she's somewhere in Otorohanga, I only live in Hamilton. We will miss you, Val, and we love you very much. And my koro is waiting for you somewhere, or he'll come and find you himself. Better yet, he'll make you go and find him. E mihi ana kia tātou.
Yo no Kia ora whānau, my name's Rodney Sanders. I had the privilege of buying a house right next door to Val's up on Karimako Road, where Val was a big part of my family. She knew some really interesting people. I remember the first time I looked across out of my kitchen window, and here she would be with a bunch of other ladies dancing around a drum with fire and things, and I was like, oh my God, what have we got here? But I sort of learned a little bit that it all meant something, which is quite humbling. But just the other day, Peter let the boys know that Val was coming home and asked for a hand. Now these boys are all over here, there's a lot of Tauranga boys. They all grew up around Val right at a young age, the same as my kids and all my kids. And there's a whole bunch over in Perth that I left there a few months back, and I'm sure they would be ripping into me if I didn't get up here and send their love to you guys. And the other day, cleaning up, and I ended up going back over there at about 6:45 in the morning and cutting gorse down in the pouring down rain, no raincoat, and I was thinking, God, I'm mad. And then next thing I hear, Val had passed away. So it made my job just a whole lot easier to go and finish it and clean those gardens up, because it did look good. And I'm just so pleased that after 13 years I come home and put a little bit of mahi in there and help the boys out and help Peter out, which he's been a big part of my family and my kids. And I'm sure they'd all be back here. I mean, there's probably about 15 of them over there that are part of this crew that couldn't be here today. So I just want to say, send our love to you guys. Tia kaha. Thank you.
Kia ora mai no tātou. Ko mana e Tuwhare Hoani, tōku ingoa. I guess Val's moko. Rob's my koro. Hana and Arapeta, my auntie and uncle. I'm a poet, so I wanted to get up and share a poem. Yeah, I'm not really good with words outside of poetry, so I'm gonna just share a poem. It talks about connection and how I see connection. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. Connection is trips back home to the marae. It is the sound of tyres on gravel and the smell of kawakawa pulling up to the heat of belly laughter and the stern instructions coming from the wharekai. Connection is when tangihanga are our closest thing to a family reunion, when we grieve the ending of a life, then celebrate their final journey. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes one to wish souls farewell on their journey back. Back to the stars, where she will find home in the eyes of ngā ariki. Pōwhiri is the embodiment of connection, the pre-freeze at the waharoa before the karanga. Visitors become whānau under the entwining of morning melodies, the sound of everyone taking their shoes off at the same time and knowing they'll be lost somewhere in the vortex. We pay our respects to the house with the soles of our feet. After whakatau, I share breath of life with all the bodies in the marae. Connection is a holy process, so have a couple with bickies to break the tapu, catch up with the cousins who now have mini-thems, been a few years so we pray before we eat, dine on disconnect when we run out of the usual family reunion top 5 most asked questions. 1, oh my God, you're so tall now, bub. I remember you when you were a little peppy. Do you play netball? Count the number of times I've actually seen this side of my family on one hand, run to the safety of the bathrooms, hide from doing the dishes too. Oh, Bob, what are you up to now? You studying or something? Should have known that safety was just an illusion when Nana comes looking for babysitters 3, 'cause our 2's for mahi. Get roped into watching kids roughhousing on whenua we all claim as home, hoping home claims us back one day. An innocent enough metaphor. Making daisy chains because it's the only way I know how to explain connection to a child. Tell her that sometimes daisies have to fall back to the whenua. An innocent enough metaphor. Pick prickles out of souls. Wipe tears away. Let my own fall to earth. Crying is never fun alone for. Moko, you still do that poetry stuff? Connection is a cycle, but these reunions never give dull moments. Connection is every Māori kid growing up with the same experience of being told off for playing in the mattress room, threatened with clean-up duty, a game of spotlight before bedtime. Connection is the sound of snorts from that one auntie. So we beatbox and drop the heat. Marae Lullabies EP dropping next week. Hold on tight to your nieces. Be the last to wake up and get baptized by cold mornings. Sit next to the tūpapoku on her last morning above the whenua, Naya. You know she was so proud of you. Connection is when that day finally comes for everyone to wear black. It is when the shoulders of a village carry her to her final resting place. It is when every hand places dirt into their grave, waving goodbye one last time. The slow burial reflects the increase of white noises. Connection is blurry eyes and red faces, praying to stay present, dropping flowers like they could reconnect us, and I could almost hear her speak to me again. Connection is every small, insignificant moment in between. It is the moments you didn't let your tears fall so freely. But if you ask my niece, she would say, connection is just a daisy chain. Thank you.
I wasn't expecting to get up today, but as I was hearing everyone talk, I'm a new friend of Shafir. I only met her a year ago. I was sitting in my car, I think June last year, and I had a voice came and said, go to Sharda. And I fell straight into Shafir, not recognising or not even knowing that she had a connection to the person who had supported me with how I work with children, Penny Brownlee. And I feel like I need to bring Penny with me today because as Penny was passing, she asked Shafir to guide me, and that's what Shafir did the last year I was there at Sharda. I took my parent classes there, and I used to come and speak to Shafir every time I'd finished, and we used to have this little ritual where she'd get her roomie cards out and we'd pick a card and we'd laugh and we'd have a look, and Shafir'd get me to feel in my heart what it meant to me. And then she'd go running off and she'd get some more stuff to really go deep, and we'd talk. We'd literally open up our hearts and talk so deeply about connection and everyone being together. And there was one day that Shafir just looked at me and she said, Donna, you're just like me. You're a diamond in the mud. She said, so many people just walk past and they don't realise what's actually there, just standing in front of them. She says, so many people look at the glitter and they run to the glitter and they don't see what's there. And to me, that was Shafir. I saw her. I saw people walk past her, and then I saw when they realised what they were walking past and how incredible that she was. And I'm just really sad that I only got a year with her, because she was such a huge influence on my life. And I know I know there's 2 mums that their children weren't quite unfolding the way that they were. The gift that Shafir gave them, those children now are unfolding beautifully because of what your mum did. I've seen these children blossom, and I saw these mums struggling, and we talked about how we could work together, and I'm just so sad. But I'm also so grateful, and those 2 children I know are going to be so grateful for your mum about how she gifted them to naturally unfold. So, yeah, I'd say I wasn't expecting to come up, but I couldn't not, because she was an incredible woman. So thank you.
Tēnei te waka māturuturu, a te rangitu ātea kia papatua nuku e hora nei. Tēnei te tupu kia rea, tēnei te tupu kia hau ki te ukai pō, te rā te kunenga mai o ngā hua o te one, kia pihi i te ao, kia toko tonu i te pō, kia awe o ie. Tahi a te puehu, tahi a te pu ngā were, e pungarehu tiana o tapu wai ki te ao tūroa. Mā he ake kia tupu whakarito ki te papa whānake, kia rangona te mana hau e whiti i te rā, te pāmama e moi te pō. Koroki awa tea hui, me he kāhui manu ki te manga tūtapatapa te rākau nui, whakamahuru ana rongo, whetete mai atu, he matenga whare ka hore he oranga kāinga. Whiri a te kahatua tini e tāmarama, ke eke ki te rangi tuatahi, ke eke ki te rangi tuarua, ke eke ki te pai roa, tūturu o whiti whakamaua ki a tīna. Uie! Ka tiake rā te whare e tū nei, kori te kokoe e tautoko i a mātu e hui nei e poroporo aki nei tō tātou whae takoto nei whare e tū papa e hora nei whakatau. Ngā mau ngā whakahi, ngā puke kōrero, te marae ka tare hua, e mihi ana ki te whenua e tangi ana ki te tangata. Tēnā tātou katoa e whakahuihui nei roto i tēnei whare, whakaruru hau i tēnei rā. Hoi nau tēnei e tuake nei, ki te whakahoki i ngā mihi e Peter Lucas, nā i hora hia ki mua ki te aroaro, o ngā hoa, o tō tātou whae e tiraha nei. A tātou e noho mātotoru nei, tātou e noho pururu nei, i runga i te kaupapa, i karanga hia, kia huihui ngātahi ai, tātou ko te Tangihanga. Nā reira, e kore e nei mihi e roa. Me mihi a hau tuatahi ki ngā tamariki a te wahine. Wana moko puna. E hana, uroko tō tūngane, a moana, au tō tō whānau, tēnei tō whanaunga o roto i a ngāpuhi nui tonu. Ko haere mai, i te kawea mai, te reo te one roa tohe. I ngā pāpā ringa o pārenga moana, i roto anō i te whare tātai o tō tupuna whaia a Waimirirangi te kuini o te taitokerau. Nā reire te whaia takoto, ko rite te wā mou hoki atu ki te kāinga I whakarite nei mo tātou. Te kāinga tuturu mo tātou te tangata. Ko te wahanga pauri ka haure koe I konei hei toka tūmoana mo tamariki I roto I ngā ākinga o te tai. Engari ko te wahanga hari ka ora anoa raumahara I roto I o koutou mokopuna I roto anō I ngā tapuai I mahu e hio mai hei whaiwhai mātō whānau o tira mā o mokopuna mai tēnei rā hāreake nei. Nā reira, e ngā kuia, koutou e noho mai nei, e pupuri nei te mauri o Waimirirangi, tēnei auga mihi ki a koutou, te hāpai, te tautoko, kia tika ai ngā ritenga Māori, ngā ritenga I whakarere mai o tātou mātou tupuna, tēnei te āhuatanga o te Tangihanga. Nā ka tautoko noki te kai kōrero, no roto mai anō I te Waimana Kāku, moana kōrero mō Kingi Tūheitia pōtatau te whirawhira te tuawhitu. Tika ana, tēnei hārenga I harai te hārenga moke moke. Nā ko rātou ki a rātou, ko wheturangi tia, ko rūpeke atu ki tō te ārai, kia ea nui, kia ea aroa, kia ea pāma mao. Rātou ki a rātou, tātou ki a tātou e noho manene nei rungi te mata o te whenua, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Moana, tēnā koe. We come as relations and whanaunga from the many tribes of Ngāpuhi Nui Tonu and the Muri Whenua tribes. I acknowledge the Queen of Ngāpuhi, Waimirirangi, and the many connections we have here today. Hana, it's a pleasure to be here on such a sad occasion. However, I bring with myself my grandmother, 86 years old, all the way from Kaitaia, one of the matriarchs of the Ngāti Kahu tribe, and so it's a pleasure. Although such a sad occasion where we can spend time with our old people while they're still here, and it's a beautiful service today, a true mixture of what it means to be a Kiwi, Māori and Pākehā. The Māori culture was designed to uplift our souls and uplift our spirits and give us confidence, not to be blown like leaves in an autumn storm turning into manure. It was designed to uplift our souls, not manure the garden. So for those of us like myself who find the pride and the courage to stand and deliver the whai kōrero without being a whakahihi, but also acknowledging the whānau and this historic occasion. Nā reira, I roto I ngā kōrero a tātou mātu e moana, o roto I a hokianga, rākau kauri, tū patapata ki te rangi, o rātou ki a rātou. Those who have passed on grow like the kauri tree to the heavens, the stairway to the heavens. Rākau pūriri horapa ki te whenua. Those of us like the pūriri tree, who are strong and solidified and find the strength to keep on keeping on through much adversity. Nā reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, e te whānau, tēnā koutou katoa. E re re te manu, ki te mau I te rau, o te aroha, ki te tau o taku ate, mei anga whetu, hei puti, puti mo, hei takai atu, ki tō mai, ko pui te ao, whare arau I te po. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora te whānau. Thank you for sharing your stories. It's been amazing just to get different perspectives, which helps paint a picture of who Whaiawau is. And now we're going to have Moana to close us in the whakakapi.
Tahi, e kore koe, ware, ka piri mai, ko te aroha. Ngā mihi tino mahana ki a koutou katoa kua tai mai nei I tēnei rā. You know you're getting old when you have to grieve and farewell a parent, get new glasses and lose a tooth all in 1 week. So, aroha mai, I'm going to have to read today, and I need these. Koutou, kua tai, kua whakapiri mai, kia tangihia, kia poroporo aketea, kia whakahonoretea I o tātou nei Whaiawau. Ngā mihi tino nui, ngā mihi tino mahana. Kia koutou. Koutou e mātakitaki ana kei runga I a puke mata I a YouTube hoki. Tēnei ngā mihi nui kia koutou hoki. He tino honore nui kia mātou te whānau. Kua tai mai koutou I runga I te karanga o Wau. Māringi ana ngā roi mata. Te hupe hoki. And we're just very, very, very grateful that you have all come today to share in the grief, in our collective grief, in our collective love, and in honouring this amazing woman, Val. As many of you have already mentioned, Val is a warm, gentle, beautiful, graceful, amazing, determined wahine. And she has been such an awesome influence on all of our lives. For those of you who don't know who I am Hana and Arapeta's older sister. In terms of the whakapapa, just because people will be wondering how that works, I'm a half-sister, but we don't think of each other as half-siblings. Val was my mum. She made sure to make me feel like I was loved as her daughter from day one. And Hana and Arapeta are our full whānau, our brother and sister. And there's a bit of an age gap between us, so the 12 years that I have between Hana and I means that I shared some experiences that Hana and Arapeta may not remember because they were babies. And I remember vividly Arapeta talking, he mentioned today, the way Val used to put on a pot of water until it was empty and burnt. And yeah, I've caught that a few times over the years. But also those that mentioned how dedicated she was to health, to her health, and to the health of others, and to healing, and how amazing a healer that she was, and how generous she was in her giving of her herself, her abilities, her very unique and powerful healing abilities, and all of the rongoa that she gifted to all of us in so many different ways. And one of those gifts was just her, for me, was her truly quiet, inspirational nature, where, you know, very humble and unassuming, but actually so very powerful in her humility and in her love. And I too experienced the packed car, the Tetris packing, and I remember thinking as a teenager, because I used to have to babysit these fellas, and so I would, you know, go from high school at Auckland Girls to View Road to Mount Eden to babysit for a night, or usually once a week, but it was the night that Val would have other things planned, and I would be at the whare. And I remember being, you know, Val picking me up in her completely jam-packed car full of absolutely everything you would ever need to survive anything, including a Holocaust. And I remember thinking, you know, just how amazing she was at being able to go from one kaupapa to another kaupapa to another kaupapa to to the next person that she wanted to, you know, support, or the next person that she needed to be with. Yeah, she was truly an amazing woman. And it wasn't until I had my own kids that I realised, that's why the car's always jam-packed full of stuff and, you know, kai everywhere and all the rest of it. But yeah, no, she always supported us, and she was a truly beautiful parent, a truly beautiful, amazing mother. And I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that we have had her, and that she has left us with Hana and Arapeta. And Arapeta, I'm really grateful that you didn't inherit her cooking skills, and that you can whip up a decent as feed. In fact, the best kai. And I just want to acknowledge some people that have helped us to pull today in the last few days off, and there's a lot of people that have really come together to help. And firstly, I want to acknowledge all of the friends from Tauranga that have travelled here. Arapeta, your mates have done you proud. They have been amazing, gone fishing, brought meat, brought, you know, everything, and not just brought it but prepped it, and, you know, been working away in the kitchen over there. You know, just such solid support, and we really want to acknowledge and thank you for your support. And there's so many other people that I want to acknowledge, and including the Sufi whānau.
It's been a beautiful times with you all in the last, 24 hours or so, just hearing your stories and hearing your love for Val and just sharing in this beautiful moment with you all has been truly special, and we thank you for being here. To all of our whānau from the north, those that have travelled far to be here from Te Tai Tokerau, e pene ngā mihi nui ki a koe, me tō karani māmā ko tai mai. We want to thank you for coming and just acknowledge how special it is to us. Now, we don't have any more nanas in our whānau. So our baby, nuku mamau, our hononga, our tino hononga te rā pipi, is so lucky that he still has one of his nanas left, and I just want to make special mention and thank you for being here. It means a lot, it really does. And our whānau from Mangakahia Road, ngā mihi tino mahana kia kōrua hoki no Hokianga. Just very, very grateful that you, as you always do, come to support us. To the Cooksley whānau, the whānau that have flown in from Palmerston North, I just want to say thank you also for being here, and it's always these occasions, it seems it was Nana Mari's passing was the last time we got to see you and be with you, and I just want to thank you and acknowledge, the even though it's only been small times that we've had together over the years, and usually at occasions like this, just so grateful that you were able to come and that we can share in this special time together. Cedric, kia koe hoki, mo tō tainga mai ngā mihi nui kia koe hoki. Cedric has come from the Waikato, from Otorohanga, and has been like a brother to Val for most of her life. Whānau Māori o tērā wāhi o Waikato e. I just want to mihi atu ki a koe e te tingani e te pāpā. Just acknowledged, and thank you again for coming. I know I'm missing people out. I'm terrible. I shouldn't have started naming people in the first place because you're always going to miss someone out. Hannah's friends, there's been many of Hannah's friends also that have supported the family over the last few days, particularly at View Road, and just want to say thank you. And to all of Val's friends, whether you had seen her recently or you were about to see her recently because you had plans, or you haven't seen her for a long time, we are so grateful to be able to spend this time with you and again to share in the grief and the loss that we are all keenly feeling. I know we all thought we had more time. I thought we had lots more time. So if there's one lesson that we should all be taking away from this is never take that for granted. You just don't know. We need to be with our most beloved people as much as we possibly can and cherish those times. And and it's been a shock. It's been a shock that we've lost Val so soon, but we also know that she lives on in all of us and will continue to be a powerful presence and influence in our lives. And I just want to make a special mention and thank you, Peter Lucas, Kia ora, kōrua, you are such an amazing, albeit new, a very amazing, beautiful part of our whānau now, and we're so lucky and so grateful to have you in our whānau, and for your guidance over the last few days and your leadership and your ability to get people doing things that need to get done. And I'm just really, really thankful. We appreciate that. We really, really honestly appreciate that. And to Kione, Pete, and our baby, Nuku Mamau, I'm so torn. It's a bittersweet feeling. I'm torn between the absolute joy and happiness of having this new life in our family and the heartbreak of losing baby's nana so early in his life. Just knowing the influence that she had as a nana on my children. So I will concentrate on the joy that Nuku Mamau brings me. He is Auntie's absolute favourite. You heard it here, and you can quote me on it. And yeah, we're very privileged and blessed. Ai, e kore te puna aroha e mimiti e te whae vau. E kore te puna e mimiti. Finally, I just want to thank with all of my heart the whānau of the Holy Sepulchre. You fellas are amazing. Wilson, tō tātou nei, kai whakaarahi, kai karaki tēnei ata i tēnei ahi hoki, ngā mihi tino nui ki a koe. Me tō āwhina o tautoko mai a mātou, i e tātou katoa. Ia, he tino mihi nui ki a koe. Adam, awesome to meet you. I don't know if you're here. He's probably in the kitchen doing our kai. Oh no, he's there. Kia ora, Adam. Yeah, no, great connection. I'm looking forward to having more conversations with you over peeling spuds or whatever else we need to do. Te Karere, Karu, Sam, who was with us last night, you all have just been outstanding in the way that you have welcomed us into this beautiful whare, and we're so privileged to be able to be here under this amazing roof today. One that has sheltered generations and generations and generations of whānau from the north, and we are very grateful that you keep this whare alive. And, you know, as kaitiaki of this whare and this hāhi and this marae, we are so grateful that we have this opportunity and the ability to be here. Ngā mihi tino nui kia koutou. If I've forgotten anybody, I know I've forgotten people and I'm really sorry. I'm just going to say that straight up. I'm sorry if I haven't mentioned you, but we huri noa tō tātou nei whare katoa. We just, thank you all. And we look forward to, you know, spending a bit more time with you after proceedings here have concluded over in the wharekai and having a bit more of a informal, relaxed time together and to, you know, continue to celebrate this moment in time, make the most of this moment in time and share kai together. Nō reira, huri noa tō tātou nei whare, tēnā tātou, tēnā tātou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Kia ora te whānau. In the Christian faith and many other whakapono, we believe that death is not the final chapter. There is something beyond death. And I believe Val knew this. For us Christians, we believe that Jesus comes back and will be resurrected, not just in spirit, but also atinana, in flesh. And as Christians, we believe that our job is to participate in creating heaven on earth, to reconcile and reconnect all of creation with God. And we believe that God is doing something in this world, and he calls us to join us. What does it look like? Feeding the poor, healing the sick, liberating the oppressed, creating collective flourishing for all of humanity. And time again, we see this in our scriptures. So that is the Christian job description: feeding the poor, healing the sick, liberating the oppressed, and creating collective flourishing for all of humanity. But another thing that God does as well is that if the church and Christians do not choose to do this work, in which the Royal Commission has revealed, God will look for others and call others outside of these four worlds to participate in his work in this world, which is another feature of our pūrākau time and time again in our Bible. And when I heard about Val's life and her spiritual journey, in particular with her Sufi community and the Chakra community, I think God called her to create heaven on earth, and she was looking for ways to do this. I mean, hear her stories after stories. She healed the sick, she fed the poor, she liberated the oppressed, and she created collective human flourishing for those in her world. And I think all of us here, we have all experienced Fire Val creating heaven on earth. So two things I want to leave with you here today. Death is not the end or has the final say in the Christian narrative. That Jesus says, I am the life and the resurrection. And I believe, and we believe as Christians, we will see Fire Val again in the next life. And we will exchange stories with her again. Secondly, if we can take something away from Val's life, what ways can you create heaven on earth where all of humanity can flourish? Nō reira e te whānau, haere mai haere ki te ao whānui I runga I te rangi Māori e, kia maia, kia kaha, kia ū ki te mea tika, koe utua te kino ki te kino, engari manaki tia, ngā hunga e tū kino ana ki a koe. Ko rero mai nei I a koutou te māramatanga to haina ki te ao, I runga I te ingoa te matua, te tama, me te wairua tapu. Āmene. E te kirimate, kua ngaro te puti puti, engari, kia mau tonu te kakara. Nō reira, kia kaha, kia maia, kia manawa nui, kia taua anō te rangi Māori o te atua ki runga I a koutou. Ka huri ki a koe e whae vel, ko ki rawa atu te whare, he tohu o tō aroha ki tēnei ao. Nau I waiho e taonga, I mua ia mātou, I mua ia mātou, tēnā koe. Ko iti, te rehi a koe, ko whawhai koe I te whawhai pai, kia mau tonu koe I te whakapono. Nō reira, waiho te rarerau o te ao kia mātou. Mā mātou e hāpai, ngā tūmanako, ngā wawata, hei whakatika, hei whakahau, hei whakarere hua te ao. Hare atu ki te taha hare atu ki te taha o Kingi Tūheitia, hei ho haere, mau. Haere ki ngā ringaringata whau te atarunga rawa, haere ki te rangatiratanga I te rangi, haere ki te hunga tapu. Whaia, oki rā. Āpiti hono, tātai hono, rātou, ko ngaro I te pō, āpiti hono, tātai hono, mātou e tū nei te ao, tēnā tātou katoa. Nō reira, we are coming to the end of the karakia. It's time to close the coffin. If I could ask the pallbearers to be on standby with me as well, as we sort this out and as we commit, do the final committal for our fire vow.
Listen to the land. Listen to the Spirit. Listen to the breath. Listen to the life we share. Sing it for the love. Sing it for the years to come. Sing it for the trust. Sing it for the grace between us. Sing it for the love. Sing